Now to a ruling involving the high-profile murder case of Nick Firkus, a St. Paul man in prison for the 2010 murder of his wife Heidi. Today, the Minnesota Supreme Court upheld the first-degree murder conviction in the case, meaning Firkus will stay in prison for the rest of his life. And as Lou Ragoose is here to explain, this ruling will affect other cases in Minnesota that rely on circumstantial evidence.
That's right, Lauren. This is a ruling that lawyers across the state have been waiting for. It potentially strengthens convictions moving forward and gives more weight to jury verdicts.
And so I said, call 911, and then let's head to the garage. Okay.
The jury in Nick Firkus' 2023 trial did not believe his story about wrestling with an intruder, his shotgun going off, accidentally killing his wife Heidi. The jury decided he planned and murdered his wife. And after considering the case for nearly 2 years, the Minnesota Supreme Court agreed with the jury, affirming Firkus' conviction and keeping him in prison for the rest of his life.
All but one judge resoundingly said yes.
Defense attorney Dane DeCray, who analyzed the ruling for KARE 11 News, says the ruling's impact goes far beyond the Firkus case.
This is such a unique minority rule. Very few states have this.
Minnesota is one of only 9 states that has a different standard of review for cases that rely heavily on circumstantial evidence, requiring appeals judges to rule out every reasonable hypothesis besides guilt. Using that standard, Chief Justice Natalie Hudson thought the intruder theory was a reasonable hypothesis based on circumstantial evidence in the trial. She would have overturned the conviction and freed Firkus. But DeCray says with this ruling, the majority of the justices narrowed the circumstantial test to give more weight to what the jury decided.
Completely. I think that was the central fight between the justices. The majority said we have to listen to what the jury decides. And so we can infer that based on how they vote in the case.
That means since the jury found Firkus guilty, appeals judges shouldn't consider the intruder theory since the jury specifically rejected it. The ruling will have an impact on other cases, such as the Hennepin County judge who tossed out a jury's guilty verdict in a fraud case by using the circumstantial test and deciding it could be reasonable to believe that the defendant was unaware of the fraud. A positive shift for prosecutors, but one that defense attorneys like DeCray believes takes away the point of the review.
And I didn't hear back from Heidi's family today regarding the decision. Nick Firkus' lawyer sent me a statement that says, in part, everyone who knows Nick knows that he could never kill his wife. Lauren.
Gosh, it's just such a fascinating case that so many people have followed for so long.
Absolutely.
Lou, thank you.